Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Zombies Love Bacon podcast, episode 36. If you are still listening to this, what is wrong with you? Coming at you from I'm not even sure if we're in out of lockdown, anti-mask, something. We're something. Melbourne.
We're out unless you're trying to go to a funeral, I think.
That's more. But anyway, Shelby's here.
Hey guys, I'm here.
And also joining us from a very long hiatus, I think he's been gone about 9 to 12 months. Frog.
Yeah, I've been locked down just privately, so I'm just I'm not allowed to leave.
Privates.
Locked down by life.
My privates have been locked down. I'm not allowed to lock down. I've been locked in a room. Ilati only just let me out today. I've been locked in a basement.
I was just thinking Chelsea was keeping you in the basement and there was
no, it's Ilati. Definitely Ilati.
Okay,
No,
it's
that's what
we do have a basement.
We do have a basement. There is no cell reception down there.
We do have a storage cage.
There is a cage in our basement. That is not a lie. Cage? I mean, it's a cage. Storage. Why? You could store people in it.
Just storing people, all right.
I mean, it's a cage that we could put a padlock on.
There's a Christmas tree in it, so it'd be you in a Christmas tree.
There's a chair there you could sit on.
There's a chair until December. Then we need the tree, and you can stay in there.
You know what? You could tell. You could tell you're living in a rich building when everyone's storage cages are full of the huge giant TV boxes that they can't fit anywhere else in their life. Like the 100-inch fucking OLED $12,000 TV. Like, oh man, what do I do with this giant box that normally comes on a pallet? I'll stick it in my storage cage. Because the thing
don't
is,
they just throw out the box?
I was about to say before you jumped in. That's the only way to package your TV up when you're moving again. So put it back in its box.
That's valid. I've just had in the past, my family have just wrapped the TV in blankets.
I just wedge it between my back seat.
What's the biggest TV you've owned though?
Not that big.
Yeah. So my TV, the TV that we have in the lounge room, which is 75 inches, that is basically the width of a car. So that is the biggest TV you can get and stick it in the back seat of your car. So when I say they've got 100-inch TVs,
so it's something. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, storage cages, amazing, right?
Very useful.
Very useful.
My Christmas tree is very safe.
Christmas is upon us. They're everywhere now. All the decorations are out. I sat at a meeting this week at work where they're like, we want people to remind them that it's Christmas. It's time to buy stuff. I'm like, oh my God, okay.
Oh, yeah. Good luck with the whole, I mean, I know you're in specialty retail, but it's still retail. You still got to do everything. Got to do all the Christmas, got to do all that. Whereas I am currently working in a job where for the first time I'll actually get a proper break over Christmas.
Same. This is the first year without it. It's
right?
I had to sit in a meeting yesterday where they told everyone that because retail's been so shit the last few years, thanks to lockdown, that they want to be open all the public holidays to make the most of retail. So then everyone's like, oh man, I can't wait to get my break over Christmas because we usually close all the public holidays. They've been told they have to work now. And I'm like, I'm just like, way to piss everyone off, guys.
So my work is keeping a skeleton crew to one person each day to man the phones in case anyone calls in. I put up my hands to work a couple of days early January, but I was told that I don't know enough about the builder side of things, so they kicked me off of it. So I get more time off. So that's fine. All paid.
I think I'm pretty much working through it because I've got nothing else to do.
Yeah, this is my first year because I used to work at a Woolies. So this is the first year where, because this time right now, I would be in a freezer unboxing 1,000 boxes of fucking prawns into the fucking freezer and just stockpiling shit. They start stockpiling so far out, it's fucking nuts.
Yeah, you see it when you go, when you go to the supermarket, you see it above the aisles in October. There's all these Christmas stuff, and it's why? Yeah.
I would have been that person making Christmas displays.
Fuck that. I work in retail, but there's three things that you'd never want to work around Christmas. Supermarkets is definitely one of them.
The worst.
Airports would be right up there with fuck that noise for Christmas. And then probably the last one would be shopping centers and malls and stuff like that. I would. And my partner used to work at what used to be 48 hours, but it's 52 hours or whatever now, Chadstone run, where Chadstone doesn't close for 3 days, just stays open all day, every day, all night. And
you mean your ex-partner, right? Because I don't think I've worked at Chadstone.
Yeah, no, my ex-partner. It's but it's like, would go there. I'd literally finish work, take to Chadstone, and they like the staff aren't allowed to park there because there's not enough car parks. And Chadstone's fucking massive, right? No car parks for staff because every single park needs to be done that. And then they have like a car park that's like a kilometer away, and staff would have to park there. And then they had a staff shuttle bus to shuttle the staff in and out of the building. But this is like 2:00 in the morning. It's still packed. And there's people buying TVs and like spending tens of thousands of dollars. And I'm just standing there going, why? Why did you wait to 2 a.m., 2 days before Christmas to buy a $10,000 TV? What are you doing with your life? You know,
I was like telling customers that like, oh no, these platters that you've ordered, you can't just fucking come on the day. Like the days leading up to Christmas was the most like arguments you get with customers because they would sit there and fucking just be like, oh no, but my friend told me that I could order it on the day. So I've just been waiting here. You're gonna tell me that like I can't get my wraps, like my wrap order and my 8 kilos of fucking prawns?
And that's
like,
the worst thing because then they're like, you ruined my Christmas.
You're ruining my Christmas.
It's like it's not our fault.
We've had signs up since October that saying you have to book in. Like you can start order, like they start like food orders, like orders for prawns, orders for fucking wraps, orders for like big chunks of ham. All of that shit from now. And if you haven't gotten yourself organized from now to Christmas, you got something.
If you're hearing this on Monday and you haven't pre-ordered your food, do it.
Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. It's not that important. Just fucking get over it. It's just prawns, man. They do Christmas. Do you know what? Christmas happens every year. I just want to put that out there. It happens every year. I don't know if this is news to some people, but like it happens every year.
You'd think people would be used to it by now. But...
Have I told the story about the announcer lady at my old work?
No.
She this middle-aged mum that was just like fucking rowdy. She was rowdy as fuck. So she was really loud, and she got known as being like the loud, annoying lady from the deli. So she would sit on the like the microphone during Christmas period, like the 2 weeks either side like of Christmas, and she'd be doing all the announcement of the specials and stuff. And whenever the fuck we got oysters, right? This is her direct words. I should get up and there'd be a fucking queues out the door in front of the deli, and she'd be sitting there staring directly at some like young guy or whatever, like staring directly at him. She'd get on the microphone and she'd start saying shit like, "Welcome to my Woolies now." I've just doxed myself, but that was welcome to my Woolies. Today on special we have oysters selling fresh from the deli. If you're looking for an aphrodisiac for your man, ladies, come get some. Shit like that. And it was just like, she'd make it like real awkward, like a weird, awkward sexual vibe during Christmas shopping was not something that was good. It just made everyone feel awkward.
Sounds like the story I was telling the other week about dirty old Santa Claus hitting on mums at the hardware store. It's like, it's not what Christmas is about, guys.
But it was just like, yeah, she'd always just like make up like jokes like that about like, like I can't even think of half the ones, but like it'd just always be some sexual undertone to it. Right. And like, it was fucking weird. Why some people must get horny during Christmas, you know? It's just the thing.
I mean, it's the oyster thing as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are you ready to jingle your bells?
I think it was more around the oysters, but sure. I remember one of those 24-hour, because I used to go to the Chadstone 24-hour thing just because I don't know, I just like wandering around people and doing shit and exploring whatever. I remember I was buying something. I went to the JB Hi-Fi. And it was packed, like just packed full of people buying like DVDs and games and CDs and whatever. And the huge lines, and I got in this line, I'm just sitting there and then got up to it. And the person in front of me come up and they chucked a heap of Blu-rays up on the desk. And the woman's like, oh, they're not, she's like, oh, they come to this total. She's like, no, they don't. It's buy two, get one free. And the woman kind of counted. It's like, no, if you buy two with these stickers on them, you get one with the sticker on it. It's free. You don't just get any of them. It doesn't say, you know, it's the buy two with the stickers, get another one with a sticker free. You can't just go grab any Blu-ray. And anyway, the woman in front of me, she's like, oh, okay. Walks off. And then out of nowhere, I just like saw it out of the corner of my eye. She picked up the end of the aisle with this big sign saying buy two, get one free. And she just started screaming. She's like, it says buy two, get one free. And launches the aisle over my head behind the counter. Blu-rays and shit go flying everywhere. And the woman behind the counter, and I kid you not, she just goes, I'm on break, and walked off. That was it. I'm just standing there, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not buying anything today. It's just fucking...
That's fucked.
Christmas people are crazy.
I just want to talk about the like when I was working at Harris Scarf, which for those who don't know, it's kind of like a budget department store. You know, it's like it's for Maya for bogans, pretty much.
Yeah.
Anyway, Maya's already for bogans.
Okay.
Anyway, so basically,
What Maya are you going to?
what do you mean? Maya is where bogans go to feel fancy.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so Harris Scarf is just worse, all right? I worked in one of the busiest Harris Scarfs in Australia at Southern Cross Station, which is a huge store, and it's very busy. And people get feral around Christmas. People really get feral in terms of like arguing, really wanting, you know, a specific air fryer, getting upset when the air fryer was not available, yelling at me for not being able to like give them a bag big enough for their air fryer, all those sort of things. But also the amount of people trying to steal shit goes up around Christmas all the time. So many people. But also we had a range of like mugs that we were selling around Christmas, and they were like white mugs with your like a letter on them in gold. And, you know, like for to be festive, so you could get like for Frog, you could get like a J mug. Not that I'm doxing your whole name, but
Let's keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah, what other letters in his name?
It's
And also
name
address and credit card numbers.
The credit card details in
but like, so people would come in and try and buy like 20 mugs, one for everyone in their family. And the amount of people who would abuse the fuck out of me once we're out of vowels was insane. Sorry, I don't have A's, I don't have E's, J's were also always out the window. But I do have X, Y, and Z if you want that.
I bought them all. So.
Yeah.
Saw me.
So think about the retail workers you come face to face with this Christmas. Don't abuse us if you're late.
We had a woman once, and she rang up one of our stores that's not there anymore, and she was like, hey, do you have this esky in stock, like a cooler? And we're like, we do, yes, we got that one. And she goes, have you got two? And we're like, okay, we'll just go check. And the casual went and checked. And they're like, look, the cooler's there. Yes, it's got one behind it. No worries. Goes back on the phone and says, yes, we got two. And she's like, okay, don't sell them. I'm coming right now. I'm going to come get these coolers. And anyway, she came into the store like 20 minutes later, pulls the first cooler out, and the one behind it is the next size down, like it's slightly smaller. So they're not two exactly the same. So she just collapsed on the floor and stopped talking. And everyone's like, what? And she just wouldn't respond to anyone. She wouldn't talk to anyone. She just had a full-on mental breakdown. She just...
Oh my God.
Christmas got her. She died that day. No, she didn't die. But we did have to call an ambulance. And apparently she was just like in shock or something. Like they took her away and she just shut down. That was like the most stressful thing that could have ever happened. And because I remember I was taking that staff member and a few other staff members to the football. It's like a end of year thank you for hard work stuff. And then we end up missing the football game because we had to call an ambulance and wait for the ambulance to turn up. And then literally try and like get this woman to get up off the floor and like leave the building so we could close the building. It's a fucking weird day. So anyway, Christmas is shit in my opinion. Actually, I like everything about Christmas except for the people. It's probably the more accurate.
Yeah, take people out of Christmas.
I like the one thing I did like from working in retail during Christmas though, and now this was it's a bit, maybe it's just me, but the shifts that you could get during Christmas compared to the ones that you'd get throughout the year was so cool. So like for Woolies, there's on the days leading up to Christmas. So like I would usually volunteer for like the 2 days on the before Christmas Eve, right? So the first day and then also Christmas Eve morning, right? So like I'd do like start at like 3 and then work through to like fucking like 9 o'clock in the morning sort of thing. So like do your 8 or so hours or whatever the shift was, but then you're there in the store because like I didn't do night fill or any of that stuff, but like there's like a time period where it's like you get to do these like really late shifts. So you stay up all night, or you wake up really early, go to work, and then you're just like up all day, and then so you get those food comas from like your Christmas dinners and stuff, and like you're just like fucking pass out on the couch and all that stuff, and it just helps add to that whole thing. So yeah, it's just...
I think there was one year that I did late shift at my work because we did like late night shopping for Christmas Eve, and then it was to Chadstone, get everything packed up, and then we left Chadstone at 4 a.m, drove home to see the folks up in the country for 6 hours, and I get there, had Christmas lunch, and then it's like by 4 o'clock just passed out on the floor basically. Just destroy your body clock and everything else. It's just absolutely wrecked. But that's the thing, right? The thing that always drove me up the wall, particularly about Christmas, particularly when you like move away, is I hate spending Christmas packing bags, traveling, crashing on fucking couches, driving from point A to point B to see everyone, try and make everyone happy. Like it just makes me miserable basically. Because it's particularly like there was one point where it was like see the partner's family, see my family, like both sides. So you end up having 4 Christmas lunches, and like I can't drink because I have to drive between them. And then it's like, I'm just like, nah. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Some of those family gatherings, you need to be able to drink to deal with it.
Well, he's meeting my family for the first time this Christmas, so he's definitely going to need to drink.
Well, no, we're driving.
Well, you're gonna have to suffer then, are you?
That's literally what I just said.
I thought maybe we'd just take the train, but I mean,
I've got a weird one this year. So I've got so Chelsea's mum lives by herself, so says that she normally goes up to visit her family with like the 2 daughters on Christmas, and my dad is basically straight up, because my dad gets along with her, and my family gets along with her mum really well. So my dad actually just invited her to my dad's side of the family's Christmas, and my dad's side of the family's Christmas is very rowdy, and it's going to be interesting because, like, to put in perspective, my cousin just got her first boyfriend and brought him over to the house. And they, within 5 minutes of sitting down for a cup of tea, my grandma had explained to him how all of my dad and my 2 aunties were conceived.
Fantastic.
So it's like one of those kind of families on that side. So it's going to be...
Oh, when you sit down for a cup of tea, you can have a story that goes with it. So
Exactly. And,
why not?
Apparently, according to my sister, it was very detailed. That was the part that was the scary part.
That's fantastic.
So my girlfriend's mum is coming to lunch before she goes off to her side of the thing. Hopefully, fingers crossed. But it's going to be interesting.
Well, I do remember meeting my ex-partner's family for the first time. Was actually Christmas, extended family, I should say, and. They literally, I rocked up there. They were the last stop for the day. So I'd been to all these, I was like my 4th Christmas lunch. And they were literally had like an entire bar set up, like all the different spirits and stuff like that. And they were all going through their old bartender days of making cocktails and stuff like that. And I showed them a few cocktails that I knew. And like, we're not talking like, we put a bit of Coke with my vodka. We're talking about like, crushing up the different fruits and different ices and shaking them up and mix them here and add them there and make them so the smoke comes off them and stuff like that.
The Ferrari.
Anyway,
what's that one called? That's the Lamborghini or some shit. It's
I don't fucking know what they're called. I just
pour liqueur down the side of the glass and then you light it on fire.
All that sort of shit.
Whole thing catches light. Yeah.
So anyway, this is no bullshit, right? So that's how I met them, was drinking that. I didn't really eat much. I'd already eaten plenty. And then I blacked out at about 3 o'clock. And then I woke up at about 11 p.m. And my best mate from high school was there. Now, apparently, while I was blacked out, I called him and told him to come over. So he did on Christmas Day. So he just came over to her house to hang out with me while I was passed out. And then we just started drinking again. And then apparently I blacked out again. And then the next thing I knew, I woke up the next day in bed with my mate. So that was how I met my last partner's family.
Well,
I don't know. Honestly, apparently there was vomit involved. I was in the pool at some point. I passed out on a trampoline at some point. But everyone got drunk though, so it's like no one cared. The entire family was blotto crazy, so it's fine. It's just more the fact that my mate left his Christmas dinner to come hang out with my Christmas dinner.
They're the best Christmas like dinners, the ones where everyone just gets blackout drunk and it's just like everyone's going nuts. They're the fun ones because I've got two sides of my family. One that's like that, and then one that's like real conservative and like quiet, and they gather around. They all talk about their cooking and that. Like, it's great. It's good family stuff, but like it's not the same as just getting blind.
Yeah, I think that particular Christmas, it was the fact that there really wasn't anyone under the age of 18 there.
Yeah,
and where like my family side, my dad's side's a bit proper and a bit family orientated. They're all got families, and it's all about having a good job and a good education and being upstanding citizens of the world. That's fine. That's why I was never popular on that side of the family. And then the other side of the family is whatever has petrol in it and goes fast is cool. That's it. That's pretty much it for that entire
side. That's what
side.
my family's like.
I kid you not, on my mum's side of the family, I'm talking like Australian champion motocross, supercross drivers, endurance races, sprint car races, V8 supercars, go-karts, speedboats, jet skis, power boats. Anything with petrol in it that goes fast, they've driven it, and most of them have been successful in their stuff. And to the point where normally, like if you go out the bush or whatever, it would get bush bashing in the old cars, and they'll be ripping apart a motorbike or something like that. It's just part of it. Everyone just gets covered in grease and smells petrol, basically. That's their entire side of the family. So that, and like I was talking to my parents today, and they're like, "Oh, we want to come down, blah blah blah." I'm like, "Well, you can come down after Christmas when it's all quieter." She's like, "We can't. We've got sprint cars." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Right. And they just brought a truck. Like they're semi-retired, but they are running a sprint car team. And when the kids sort of grew out of it or got busy or whatever, they just went and hired a new driver. So they literally have a sprint car in a trailer and truck and everything, and they've got this driver that they've hired, and they do it professionally. And that's just my parents. That's not the 12 siblings that also do all the same stuff. So it's kind of wild. Okay. It's
so like you the black sheep or like what?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I got in and got dirty. I've done my time. I was never successful in any way. But like my uncle, back in when they were my age, right? He had a V8 power boat, and they used to do the ski races up and down the river. So then his two brothers would be the skiers behind it, and they called the boat the Rattler, because when it used to hit top speeds of over 100 kilometers an hour down a river with trees and shit in it, it just to start rattling apart where the bolts and stuff would start falling out of it. And like they have two people hanging off strings off the back skiing, and that was fun for them. And they won lots of races. This is also a guy who actually came into my hardware store as a kid, and I said, "Oh, what are you doing here?" He's like, "I'm gonna build a boat." I'm like, "What kind of boat?" He's like, "Houseboat." I'm like, "Okay." And he just went and built one in his shed. It's like a 4-bedroom. The entire top floor of the houseboat's a bar with a full kitchen and everything in it. It's just, why not, I guess. That's just there. Well, that's something, when we go up, there's definitely, they always take us out to the boat, so you're ready for that.
That's all right. I like boats. I used to ride around on jet skis.
Jet skis are fun.
But this is a houseboat. I'm talking, it's got a 20-person bar upstairs. It's made for...
put me in the bar. I'll be a kitchen wench. I mean, a bar wench. I'll just make drinks.
It was made so Nana would be up in the bar making scones in the full kitchen while all the men would be fucking fishing off the deck. That's what it was designed for.
That's fine.
I went to Anaconda the other day, and then because we were looking at outfits for the snow, but like trying to see if we could get cheap ones, even though it's like coming into summer. So like when they're all going out of sight.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're looking at cheap snow gear, right? And I'm fucking walking around, and Chelsea and her sister are off doing stuff, and then I'm just like got distracted. I started walking through like the fishing rod aisle in Anaconda and looking at all the lures and all the stuff, and it reminded me of like how long it had been since I'd properly gone fishing, and I was just like, I was just tempted to, I was like sizing up fucking rods, and I was
there's proper fishing, and then there's half-assing it. Like we go onto the boat and go fishing, but I mean it's a houseboat with a full bar, kitchen, bathroom, everything else. You usually get pizza delivered to the boat and sit there fishing. That's not real fishing. Real fishing is going camping somewhere where you not sure if you can get back from, and like living in dirt for days while you catch fish.
I mainly enjoyed like the beach fishing, so going to like going in like baiting and stuff, getting all like the shit, and then fucking sitting on a chair on the side of the beach whilst you got this fucking huge rod, just fucking getting fish. It was good. And then fishing off piers as well is also fun.
Pier fishing's awesome. I
had a very big phobia of piers growing up, because I always thought I would fall through the cracks. So like I would be like, even to this day, if I go out on like a real shit pier,
I've definitely been on a pier where someone's dropped their phone through the cracks.
Yeah. I would like very hesitantly walk. I've got like walk out through the fucking pier, just stepping like it's like, you know that thing that's like you don't step on it because otherwise you break your mother's back, kind of like that, except with cracks on a pier. It's just, you know, that was my phobia growing up.
Yeah, we definitely had a time where we used to get pier fishing a lot when we were younger, and this huge pier at this town we used to go to. And I remember we used to do a lot of night fishing, so you just go out there, and like there was lights in the pier, and you could see fuck all. But the whole point is like your lures and stuff like that really show up in the water at night, so you know, real easy for the fish. Anyway, a huge storm blew through, and the waves got so big, like they were like going over the pier. Man, that was scary. It's like we just all of a sudden the wind got up to the point where it felt like you're gonna get blown off the pier, and then these huge waves rolled in. And we're like, we should go home.
We should probably call it here.
We're probably good. So I guess to your point, Shelby, I've done my outdoors time. I'm doing my indoors time now. I'm just catching up on.
I mean, okay, that's fine. Like, all you have to expect with my family, because it is very small, is my dad will want to talk to you about Marvel movies and AC/DC.
Never heard of him.
He'll want you to have some bourbon with him.
Bourbon? What's that?
Is AC/DC the one that has Superman?
No, AC/DC is what comes out of your PowerPoint.
Yes, that one. Yeah, he likes that.
PowerPoints?
And they'll probably want to talk to you about cars.
I know a lot about GPOs.
Just like Commodores.
Oh, Volvos.
Yeah. And then
you start like break down into like an in-depth hybrid.
You'll be asked.
My favorite V8 supercar is the Nissan.
Yeah. You'll also be asked questions about the block.
What? What's that?
I won't know anything about the block.
Some weirdo was on that show once, and they like to talk about it.
Yeah, they call it Scotty Cam.
Yeah. You'll also be probably talking to my grandmother about nothing in particular, maybe computers.
Computers?
And then you'll be watching me at the dinner table trying to stop my grandma.
What do you mean? I'm not meant to spend time with you at Christmas? You're just going to offload me to entertain your family? Is that what's happening?
No, I'm just saying, because I wanted to have you for boy time outside as well, little blokes on blokes outside. You're
overthinking it. Just it happens.
I'm not. I'm just telling you.
I'll do whatever I want.
You told me what to expect. I'm just telling you.
I haven't told you to expect anything, because that's definitely you don't. No, that's not. Don't expect.
What do
anything.
I expect then?
For what?
For you to meet your family, what should I expect?
Blokes on blokes?
Anxiety? I don't know.
I live in a constant state of anxiety, so that's fine.
The last time I had to introduce both my family to anyone, I just didn't. So, you know.
You just showed up with them? Like,
no. I showed up with them, and then I quickly took them away from my family, went and hid in my room, played Resident Evil 4.
Do you still have Resident Evil 4 at your parents' house?
No.
We're going to have to bring some Resident Evil.
I'm sure it'll be awful, but that's fine. It's all right. You don't have to worry about it. It's not happening yet.
That's fine. I'm usually very impressive, so.
Sure.
Don't say it like that.
Not that. It's not that. I'm just saying they're not even impressed by me these days. You know, it's like, oh, Smoggy's here.
I'll tell them about how I found a shiny Pokemon. They'll be happy, right?
I don't know what Pokemon are.
Oh. Yeah, but your mum was watching us play Pokemon last night.
She was just watching me.
Yeah.
Because, she doesn't get to see me much.
She had to come in and make fun of you for getting drunk that one time.
They definitely like making fun of people. Yeah.
Oh, so do I. We'll get along fine.
Yeah. Anyway, cool. Yeah.
Do you want to hear some stories about my hiatus? About my time locked in the basement.
How'd you get out?
To start off with, I got out. Bribery. Blokes on blokes.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
How everyone gets out of prison.
Exactly. I can't really talk about blokes on blokes too much, seeing as I'm just reading back through my previous topics, and I
thought you were about to say that you were a father now.
No,
You've got a boyfriend?
I'm joining a group of society members, which I don't think would frown they'd frown upon.
Are you joining the bikie gang?
Yes.
Are you actually?
No, but yes.
Oh god.
He's just one of their. He's just. No, I better not finish that sentence.
He's their emotional support frog.
I hold pockets. No. I'm reading back through my topics, and it's sort of bringing back some of the things that I had wanted to talk about on the podcast, but then just never came on. So I made a bikie CV. I've been hanging out with the leader of one of the bikie gangs in Melbourne. He's actually a really nice guy. But every time I hang out with him, I can only think about the fact that, he's probably done some real sketchy shit. Like, it's like, there's no way he has the amount of money that he has.
Mate, it's just doing favours,
Oh, yeah, favours.
Favours for your mates, bit of cash and hand jobs, nothing.
Cash and hand job? What? Hand jobs?
Hand jobs. Cash and
Definitely.
hand jobs.
Yeah,
cash. No. So he's just been the factory that I work in has been sold. So they're working on clearing out space by also then at the same time, my boss is allowing his son-in-law to park all his really expensive cars in the factory as it clears out, just to keep it there for the time being until we move to the next factory. So every day there is a new fucking expensive car brought into my work, like pretty much every week.
I believe they call it boosting, but that's okay.
Yeah, do they have like a list of cars they're trying to boost for an order?
Yeah,
Is Angelina Jolie there?
There's a door you knock on, and a little note slides under, and it's if those cars are on that list, well,
that's it.
You know how that goes.
Yeah, but that only happens in the middle of the night when there's no one around, right?
Exactly. So I'm just like come in, and there's like old cars, there's new cars, there's like hot rods, there's fucking nice Ferraris there. There's like 2 Ferraris that look fucking so sexy. They're like matte black. They're custom jobs on the rims.
Are you sure Angelina Jolie's not there?
I'm 100% sure. I think
it really sounds sus.
It does sound sus, but it's not all his cars. It's his mates. It's his.
That's what we were implying.
Girlfriends.
Fell off the back of a truck,
They're just like it's never his car. But one of the Ferraris is his car. So I'm been painting in a booth like just down the way for like 20 meters away from all these cars. Right? He comes in, he's chatting, he's like, "Oh, what are you up to?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm just fucking finishing this." "Oh, you're knocking off for smoko soon?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're playing. You normally go around 10 o'clock." He's like, "Oh, it's fucking 9:30. You want to go now? Do you know what there is to eat around here? I'm fucking starving. I've been up all night." I was like, "Okay, all right." Yeah, there's a place just down the road that does really good Vietnamese pork rolls. So he's like, "All right, hop in." And I normally go with my boss and my other mate from work, right? And he's just like, "No, just come with me. Just show me where it is." I was like, "All right, see you later, guys." I got in a 2-seater Ferrari to go and get fucking pork rolls fucking like 2 meters down the road. I literally drove in this thing for like 2 meters, but like still, it was a fucking.
So this guy came up to you, right? And he's like, "I need a second set of prints on this car."
Pretty much. So if I get food, I'm on anything. Oh god. So I got to ride bitch in a Ferrari with a bikie. That was fun. Yeah. So becoming mates with them, slowly progressing to become a hang around. Then I'm gonna,
Are they gonna be mad that you talk about the bikie gang on podcast? Do you make that?
Probably. I'm not gonna really promote it to people.
And this was the last you ever heard from Frog.
Well, they're nice guys. I don't see, like, I'm not talking shit about them. So
nice guys until you
look, they won't knock him over. They'll just force him to traffic some drugs and pay off his debt. That's all. It's not a big deal.
Maybe break his kneecaps if he doesn't do it on time.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not really going to be showing this to him, and I haven't told anyone where I work, so they can just leave it up to fucking guessing.
It's
no one
fine.
knows who I am.
Look, he's obviously just a what do they call it? Like an alibi, a second set of prints.
Pretty much, yeah.
He's the fall guy for when the whole thing goes down.
They made me hold this gun the other day. It was wild.
Yeah. He was wearing gloves for some reason.
They told me to lick it as well, like really get my DNA all over it. So I was just like sitting there, just like deep throating a pistol.
Did you show them how you can deep throat microphones?
Oh my god!
Like, did you want to deep throat the gun?
No, I didn't. No, that's not how I got onto holding pockets. All right.
Oh my god.
Anyway, so that was one thing. I've written down here. I can't remember half of these, but I've got a list of things that have happened. Horny workers, fish tanks, my bikie CV, drunk cricket, and the titty paint.
Let's go titty paint. All right.
Titty paint. I'm pretty sure that was. I think I've spoken about that. That was. Oh. No, I haven't. No. That was. No, I can't remember titty paint. I'm sorry. I can't remember titty paint.
You need to make a list or something. Oh, wait. There is a fucking list.
There is a list. But
is this like when there's like this artist who paints on her titty and then presses it onto canvas and then like creates art like that? Is that kind of like, is that titty paint?
Yeah, that's exactly how I paint glass. That was what I meant to say. Fuck, you've got me, Shelby.
Finally, you're putting your nipples to work.
My nipples go to work every time we go to bed. What?
What are they doing with your bed?
What?
What are your nipples doing?
I don't know. I'm trying to make it weird, but it didn't work.
Oh, it's weird. It's all weird.
Okay.
You guys are weird.
Yeah. So I remember drunk cricket. My boss was telling me, do you play? You've spoken about playing cricket before. Yeah. So I've been looking at trying to get back into it because I've been talking to my dad and like I'm trying to like do some things like so I'm gonna be playing like fourths or thirds or something, like basically the league where they don't give a fuck and they're gonna it's just a bunch of like young guys.
So either usually C grade or D grade cricket.
Yeah, it's the real fucking. But yeah, it's the league which is like real out there, and it's just a bunch of old blokes just fucking around, abusing the shit out of each other, according to Dad. So I'm planning on doing that, and my boss was telling me, he's like, "Oh yeah, I used to play cricket." I was like, well, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Yeah, no," because he's like real like hippie-ish, right? Like he's from out. I don't know if you know, like out like the hills way, like Belgrave, Linda, out this way. Yeah. It's like a bunch of stoners, right?
Yeah, right.
So he used to play for a league out there, and he was saying how like the only way that he could play cricket was drunk, on acid, or on coke. 3 ways that he could play cricket. And I was just like, well, I mean, cricket is like the drinking game. Like you can't like it's if there's ever a game where it's going to allow you to drink while playing.
It's true. Normally you play cricket for 4 hours and then you go into the sheds and drink for another 8, you know.
Pretty much.
It's pretty much what cricket's like, yeah.
And so whenever like, so I'm looking for that. So like, I can tell Chelsea, yeah, I'm just gonna go play cricket and then come home absolutely hammered. So
yeah, I can honestly say that, when I played cricket, for the amount of exercise and sport we did versus the amount of eating barbecued meats and beer, it's probably worse for my health in the end.
Because all you're doing is standing out, getting burnt in the sun, and then just eating shit food and drinking a lot of beer. That's it.
Yep, pretty much.
And so yeah, last time I played cricket was like when I was 16, so it's been a while. It's almost like 8 year, and so I'm not looking forward to like that first getting back in front of like one of the hardballs, like because Yeah,
There was some one game of it was indoor cricket back, and I've talked about how bad my indoor cricket team was before.
Yes.
We lost a lot of games. Anyway, we trained 2 nights a week. Rocked up to this game. It was Friday night, 9 p.m. game, late game. And it was good. Indoor cricket's great because it's air conditioned straight away, so you don't standing out in the sun getting burnt. But it also means that it's a bit casual. So the other team that turned up, their name was I don't fucking know, which is apparently what they responded when they were asked what their team was going to be called. And they turned up and they couldn't walk. They were so drunk, and they turned up in a maxi taxi from the pub. They'd been drinking all day, and we still lost to them by a lot. There was one point where one of the guys like fell over just because he was just too drunk, and he's like, I gotta sit this one out, guys, and he left, and we still lost to them.
Well, there's a science behind alcohol and any sort of activity. So there's like a limit, where if you it removes that fear element. So if you're batting, right, and you're on a couple of beers, if you're batting, you don't have to worry about getting hit. You're not worried about that. Your only focus is.
I remember getting a wicket because I bowl pretty fast. I'm a pretty good bowler. It's got a lot of swing on it as well, so it's hard for him to know where to go or whatever. I remember bowling at this guy, and he swung at it, missed it completely, fell over on top of the wickets because he was so drunk, and that counted. And I'm like, I'll take it, I guess, but it's like it wasn't my bowling that did it. It's the beers that got that wicket.
There's a kid that I used to play with. He was like a year older than me. He was a good mate, and he's actually gone on. He plays like state level now. At least he did like 2 or 3 years ago when I last kept up to date with him, right? But basically, he used to be like a pace bowler. He'd be fucking insane, and no one wanted to bat against him except for myself, my dad, and like one other dude that used to play. So we'd have like the nets that we'd be practicing in, and I'd be set up with him in like the far end, fucking padded up to shit, scared, like just because I hated getting hit by the ball, but like I knew that if it hit from him, it was not going to hurt immediately. But then I could like not play cricket for a couple of like I could just sit there and watch for a bit whilst fucking I was in that much pain. I remember one where he's bowled, and I've stepped forward with my front leg to fucking block, but it's hit a rock and shot back. And so it swung back and hit on the inside of my back thigh.
Yeah,
it was like a bruise the size of my fist. Like it was huge. It was I couldn't walk for like 2 days after that.
Yeah, the amount of people, particularly back when I played cricket, the amount of people that were like, just chuck some pads on and a cup, I'm good, and out they go. I'm like, nah, I've put everything on. Every pad they've got, I've got it.
Every pad.
You come out looking like Michelin Man.
Literally. I'm not even like, I'm not like, people would pay me out for it. Like, look at this pussy. I'm like, fuck you. I'm fine. I'm good. And I remember once, like, again, against a fast bowler, and it hit a rock or something, and it bounced like straight up, and it hit me in the helmet. And I remember, like, I just closed my eyes. I'm like, oh God. And it opened up my eyes, and it got caught in the little vent, like between the guard and like the top of the helmet. So right in front of my eyes, the ball was jammed in between there. And it had almost gotten all the way through. It was that fast. And I'm like, fuck this. I don't want to play this anymore. But yeah, cricket's a ridiculously dangerous sport when you think about it.
Yeah.
The amount of times that you like, and I kind of, because I was known for being a lazy shit in cricket. So all I'd do was aim for the fucking stars every time, so I wouldn't have to run. But then, like, when you play like a proper game with like a crowd and shit, I always had this phobia that I'm gonna hit this cricket ball into someone's car or fucking into some child in the crowd who's not watching, is gonna cop a cricket ball in the back of their head. So it's like, I don't want to hit it that direction. It's gonna kill someone. But you go to like the MCG and stuff when there's 100,000 drunks in the crowd, they just log them into the crowd anyway, and it's like, yeah. Anyway, you can look up people hit with cricket balls on YouTube, and it'll keep you entertained.
I've been hit with a cricket bat before. Playing as a kid, my brother like swung backwards, and I was behind what's it called, the wicket.
Oh, when you play with little kids, it
clocked me in the head.
Yep.
When you play with little kids at Christmas and like they don't know how to like grip the fucking bat properly, and it's one of those like the yellow,
like,
the classic yellow ones. It's like plastic, and they swing and they let go, and it comes flying back at you as you bowl.
There was the old like the 90-degree, the hook bloody. I remember watching cousin do that, and like it just as he just fully extended, let's go, and it just went in a straight line straight through the window. It's like, all right, Christmas is gonna be fun this year.
Whenever I used to play with, when I was playing with my brother in like backyard cricket, I'd step. Someone would bowl it. My youngest cousin would like bowl it or something, and like it'd be going like nowhere. It'd be like bounce twice sort of thing. I'd just like step back, turn around, and fucking he'd be keeping, and I'd just like smack it right in his fucking head.
Man, I got sent off for doing that once because I did it like 3 times in a row, and then the umpire's like, "You're just trying to hit the wicket keeper at this point." I'm like, "I'm not. It's just he's just bowling him perfect for that bloody 180."
That shot, yeah.
And they're like, "Nah, off the ground, off you go." I'm like, "Fuck, all right." It was like going for the fence every time. It was beautiful. Anyway, good times. I don't actually miss playing cricket too much.
I think my worst ever injury, like a sport injury, I was playing footy in the backyard of my neighbor's house with like all the kids, because I think it was like a party or something. Anyway, it was like the grass was slippery. And this is like a well manicured lawn, so it was just like pure grass. It was really slippery. Anyway, so I'm holding the ball and I go to kick it. My legs fly up in the air. I landed directly on my tailbone and injured myself to the point where I couldn't sit down on anything except for a pillow for like
you broke your ass.
I broke my ass. Honestly, my parents probably should have taken me to the hospital to get it looked at, because I'm pretty sure I did actually break my tailbone.
I went back to, speaking of broken bones, I went back to work yesterday. I had to go do some stuff that you can't do over the internet. I'm like, oh, well, you know, we don't necessarily have to wear masks everywhere anymore. It might be a good time to get out. So I have to wear masks at my work and everything else. We won't go into that. Anyway, I got to catch up with some people I haven't seen in a while. One of the guys that I work with, who he's an older gentleman, he's a bit hot-headed every now and then. Anyway, he's been going through some shit. He's had a really shit, just a generally shit year. And he was at his desk, and he had enough of everything, and he cracked the shits, and he punched his desk and shattered his hand to the point where they had to take him to the hospital and put it all back together with wire.
Oh my god, so he made a shit time shitter.
So he literally, like, apparently he shattered the bone on, like, he hit it on like an angle so that like just lower, just in like that fat just below your pinky finger, like that's where he shattered the bone. And he had to have it all wired up and stuff like that. He goes, oh, probably not my finest hour. So I'd reckon not, you know. It was a while ago, but it still hasn't been healed properly. He's absolutely just mangled it. I'm like, wow, man, that's I've missed having that forced interaction with the general public that you get from going to a workplace, because I've literally just at my desk most of the time, or talk to people on the phone, or you only talk to the same 17 people on Zoom every week.
Or you talk to me.
And then when you go into my work gets 500 plus customers through the door every day. So it's literally just people all the time. And like, it's, I mean, particularly in my workplace where it's, you know, you see the same 300 people every day. And he's like, oh, that's the guy who came in last week. Last week he was so fucking pissed off, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, there's all this gossip. I'm like, oh yeah, it's, this is what we've been missing, that human element. And then instantly, like, I say that, but also like, I think I saw like 20 customers while I was working on the floor. And out of that 20 customers, 15 of them, the gossip was, this guy's a cunt. So it's not all good people. It's a lot of shit people. But no, I don't. Like, I'm perfectly. The comment that was made a lot, because there was a few people that were like coming back, and like obviously the mask debate and everything else, and a lot of people. The comment is, "Did you go insane, like being at home and stuff like that?" And like it's. I mean, my answer to that is everyone did. To some point.
To different degrees, yeah.
Yeah, everyone's insane. Some people really want to get into this whole political thing where they're like, oh my God, people, you know, they don't realize that all the lockdowns they've broken everyone's mental health, and, you know, the government really needs to be stand accountable. And I'm like, it's not even that, guys. It was a pandemic. They did what they had to do. You know, everyone deals with it in their own ways. I'm sure some people Like I live in a nice apartment. It's small, but it's nice. I mean, some people would have been living in share houses with total strangers, and the horrible thing, people lost their jobs, could pay the rent. Like,
and some people don't have hobbies.
And like I saw a tweet today about how like there's protests and stuff in Melbourne again, and people are like, it's weird the mix of bogan, like bloody fluoro shirt, non-educated people like Frog, and
I wear fluoro shirts.
And then there's this mix of like Real Housewives of Melbourne all protesting. It's like some people don't realize how bad it is, like could have been or should have been. If you're living in a mansion and you complain about your fucking lockdown, fuck you.
Yeah, get fucked. I've told you about the anti-vax on my work.
Yeah. So it's
karmic justice.
And like I was sitting down, I was working with the TeamOCE. We're doing some streamer stuff and analysis and whatever else, and we're just like reviewing how things have been, how things are going, all that sort of stuff. And like this year, I think for our stream team, which is 100 members, I'm in the top 5 for hours streamed. Definitely not for people watching it, but certainly for hours streamed. But I've also down like 40% compared to what I streamed last year. And the guy's like, how the fuck did you do? And I'm just like, I'm in Melbourne, man. What else was I meant to fucking do? Like, complain? Nah, might as well be doing something with my time, It's like, we've been in lockdown how many days? Insane. Shelby, how many days?
Oh, God. 250 something, I think. In total.
It's a very, very high number. It's almost a year.
And I've said it before, and I'll say it again, is that the people who are having the biggest issues are the people who don't know how to have hobbies at home. Have hobbies, have interests. There are things out there you can do at home and enjoy.
In politics.
No, fuck off.
You could read books. You can, get really into shows and stuff like that. You can create with like art and crafts and watching things and like
read up on what your local council's doing to your lawns.
Oh my God.
I've become a fucking old man.
You can like people feel like that they need to get out to do things, but like everyone should always have something they feel comfortable doing at home in case they are stuck at home for a long period of time. Not unlike lockdowns, but what if they get sick? What if they're injured? What if something else happens and they're at home? You need to have a hobby. Get a hobby.
So in the year 2020, I streamed for 1,939 hours.
Damn.
Yes. Yeah. 2020, and then to put that in comparison, 2019. So if I go the year before that, it's trying to load up here. But it's like it's instead of being like, oh, I got nothing to do, I'm just gonna, everything's the worst. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm just gonna be creative. I've got all this fucking time. I can't go outside. I'm going to work on my hobbies and the shit that I'm passionate about, which is obviously streaming and stuff like that. So I'm just gonna do that. And instead, it's not. But like, I don't know. Some people will literally like, I can't do anything at all.
I joke about the whole becoming political thing, but like legit, I genuinely enjoyed learning and reading about like.
There's definitely
stuff like that. And I didn't know I had an interest in that until I was forced to sit down and read shit and like. There's
definitely an element of people who have actually now reached out and educated themselves on a lot of the shit, and not just rely on, and I'd say this is probably the biggest change that Australia in particular has gone through in the last 3 years. So, because the pandemic's nearly 2 years old now, it's crazy to think about, is that we've gone from a nation that just reads the paper and watches the 6 o'clock news to a nation that seeks knowledge.
Yeah.
Like and like reading news.com now, you can tell that it's 80% ads and biased bullshit and like 20% talking about shit that gets clicks, and that's it. There's no actual news there. Like people will spend the time and go on the internet and like search for what they're looking for. They'll go to, shows, things like ABC News and stuff like that and try and find knowledge instead of just relying on every night at 6 o'clock. I watched what the tally tells me and I believe it. That doesn't exist anymore. Particularly for Australia. And I know that it's different in different parts of the world, but Australia, it was like you wake up, you watch your morning breakfast show while the kids watch the cartoons in the other room, and you believe everything you see on TV. And that was how everyone was brought up. Where now I think breakfast television's just fucking dead, basically.
there is still grounds for like people that just want to do their own thing. They have their own stuff they want to do. Like that, there's nothing wrong with that. Because like I live with someone that's like that. Chelsea has a way of looking at things, and it's just like, yeah, all right, I want to know how and why these things happen. She just wants to know the thing, right? Anyway, so like I was ranting. I'm not gonna get into it because it makes me very angry.
Here it goes.
Makes me very angry. But there's basically a whole ththing about Taiwan and a bunch of shit that's happening right now. There's people on those news agencies right now that are sitting there going that would previously be just like, Australia is like our own nation where we don't like screw immigrants, screw all that stuff, screw all that, like those kinds of people, right? The news presenters that say those headlines have now suddenly done a full 180, and because of the fact that their overlords are wanting them to fucking start pushing for a war against,
sure,
I won't say who, but a certain big nation in our region. They're just like they've suddenly flipped on a dime, and it's funny when you see the clips comparing the two, like a month ago to now. They've flipped on a dime and they're saying we should go and get involved in this war in Taiwan.
Yeah, but
I was explaining the politics behind it, right? That whole making me angry thing isn't the point that I'm trying to make. But then I just was telling Chelsea this, and she turns and goes, "Oh yeah," and then she shows me her phone, and it's just like, "I won $100 drinks card at the fucking this place." And I was just like, did you even understand the thing I just said?
I have to. I'm siding with Chelsea on this one because you can't spend all day getting angry about shit you can't control.
Yeah, I know.
So if you can get a drinks card, that is something I can control. All right, and I'm very excited for that.
Congrats, Chelsea, on your $100 drinks card, by the way.
I was just
but like in all seriousness, and it's something I am a very firm believer on. There's no point getting upset about shit you can't control. Yeah. And unfortunately, there's this entire mob of people that are protesting shit that they can't control. And whichever way you believe it or whatever else, there's a certain element of making everyone else's life shit because you believe a certain thing that you just shouldn't do. And that's basically it. So I mean, if the best thing you can do that affect change is to not get involved, then maybe don't fucking go out and make everyone's weekend shit. By
definitely. Like maybe a couple months ago, we had a talk at night. And I was all like doom and gloom about like the apocalypse, like all the world ending shit that's like going on, and like people are awful and everything. And it's like sometimes you just gotta choose to be selfish.
Just do shit for yourself. Go get your drink card. Go out, have some beers, and don't worry about.
I was going to a point where I was like, well, what's the point in like having kids and things like that if this is a world we're bringing them into? I'm like, I would really want to be a parent at some point.
I guarantee you
have a baby.
I guarantee you, if you were like, it's one thing to say if you work and live and do everything in the city and the city's life and whatever else and the whole lockdown stuff and all that kind of stuff. That's all like that's bad. Obviously, it affects a lot of people and all that sort of stuff, and probably can affect you and what you're doing. But I guarantee you, there's people that have been in Perth this entire time just living normal lives and give no fucks.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't affect them. They're having the time of their life. Fucking never heard of this lockdown thing. I think they did like 7 days or something in total. Like same with Tasmania. Like, if there's always options, and it's to the point, it's call it selfish if you like, but there's always options of, and Melbourne's going through this right now. Is if it's shit here and you're not having a good time and your life is not great and all this sort of stuff, leave.
Yeah, I agree.
Leave. Melbourne is seeing a huge exodus right now.
Tassie was so fucking good. Like, I talked to my mates that, like, because I play Siege with like guys that live down in Tassie, right?
Yeah.
I mentioned things that are happening up here, and it's like, bro, that's fucking weird. Like, they have not had any of it. Like, it's like they have been completely non-touched by this whole fucking pandemic.
Yeah.
And they just fucking living their lives. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And so it's just like,
Yeah, it's you get the good with the bad. Melbourne was for the longest time one of the most livable cities in the world, or the most livable city in the world, for all the reasons that Melbourne has, and half of that disappeared because of COVID and everything else and all that stuff. It's all whatever, all right? If you're not having a good time here anymore, don't like just go somewhere else. Like the amount of people that are leaving the city and like living in the town surrounding the city and just commuting when they need to and stuff like that. Now that's the new hotness. Everyone's going for a tree change or a sea change and they're getting the fuck out of here. And that's fine. That's totally fine. Like what Melbourne is today and what it'll be in 12 months, 12 years, whatever, is all going to change. But again, it's if you can affect change. If you can't, then don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. Don't lose sleep over it. It's not worth it. Don't get angry over it. Go to the pub. Support your local businesses. I think Melbourne at the moment, they've got a deal where like if you go out and you spend X amount of money eating out in the city, you get money back. Like there's
like a rebate thing.
There's a rebate thing, which like I talked to a friend at work and she's like, I got all my friends together. We went out and spent $1,500 on dinner and got $250 back from the government for it. And I'm like, holy shit. It's like, they're like, it was great. We went to the most expensive place we could find knowing that we're going to get a discount. So it's
fair enough.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. It's just, you know, it's interesting. The point I was making is that it's interesting that we used to just believe everything that you see on television, everything else, where now people are actually like reading up and finding out all this stuff. Because I mean, the one thing that social media has proven, particularly in like the last year, is like they can, like for all the shit that's out there, they will very quickly jump on someone who's feeding us bullshit and point that out. Which is a great segue to Streamlabs. The streaming conglomerate that everyone loved.
I've stayed out of this, right? So I want you to explain to me, someone who hasn't like paid any attention to this, what the fuck's going on?
It's like, the funniest fucking thing.
I purposely because I knew I was gonna ask.
Okay, let me give you
this topic.
So let me give you a timeline, all right? Because it's an ever evolving, and I got in pretty early, and I'm like, watch this space. I even said to the TeamOCE guys, I'm just like, has anyone looked at this? Because it's getting spicy. And they're like, ooh, spicy? Really? And then it just got fucking on fire immediately. And I'm like, holy shit, this is fucked. And so basically, and I didn't even know. So the Xbox came out with the help of Streamlabs and Twitch and said, hey, everybody, brand new software that can let you put alerts and everything on your streaming service coming straight from your Xbox. So if you don't have OBS or anything else, and if you're streaming straight from a console, you know that you can't have alerts and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Wrong. You can absolutely have it. There's a program that Streamlabs have just brought out, but it's also a program called Lightspeed that's been out for a long time before that.
Lightstream,
yeah. Which, like, I didn't even realize it was a thing until someone said, oh, yeah, I stream from my Xbox, I use Lightstream. And I looked into it, I'm like, that's pretty cool. I never even knew that thing existed. So Streamlabs came out and said, we've invented the wheel. And the wheel's gone, hello, we're right here. And then someone's looked at it and said, not only did you come out with the exact same program, you've come out with the exact same website. You've copied and pasted their website and just changed the name to their Streamlabs.
Yeah.
They even used the same testimonials that they got from the other website and just changed the name. They literally said, can I borrow your homework? Yeah, mate, just change your name on it so they don't know it's mine and put it up.
So there was a side-by-side comparison. They're the exact same. And the guy who collected the original testimonials for Lightstream was like, these are definitely light streams because I was the one who interviewed these people and collected them and everything.
Yeah, so that was the first flag, right? That comes out. They go, okay, what's going on here? The thing that makes it so much worse is Xbox were promoting it as their anniversary thing. It's like, check out what we can do on Xbox now, thanks to Streamlabs. And then Twitch came out. It's like, look at all the great work that Streamlabs has done. And then Lightstream's over here is like, hello, they're copying us. And then so what came out immediately after that? So that was red flag number one. Number two came out. Elgato comes out with the meme of the first time meme with the guy hanging himself. He's like, this is your first time.
Because of the Stream Deck app.
And he's like, look at the Stream Deck that then Streamlabs made their own Stream Deck that you can put on your phone. And then they named it whatever is their own thing. And that was like, it's like, yeah, they do this shit a lot. And then this is where, and I'm in a different Discord. I won't mention the Discord exactly or who it is, but they're a member for OBS. And they said, there's some shit, guys who are watching this Streamlabs thing. There's a lot more to this. It's a pretty big issue. And then OBS came out, and I'll read this tweet that they put out there because this is where it got spicy. This is where I went, oh shit! All right. Near the launch, this is from OBS, so the OBS open software streaming service, free, completely free. You can donate to it.
Source. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Now, Streamlabs have their own Streamlabs OBS, which is basically OBS, but it's been reskinned from Streamlabs because it's open source.
And it has microtransactions in it.
All that stuff. Anyway, so OBS tweeted out, near the launch of Slobs, Streamlabs OBS, Streamlabs reached out to us about using the OBS name, and we kindly asked them not to. They did so anyway, and followed up by filing a trademark for Streamlabs OBS Slobs. We tried to sort this out in private, and they have been uncooperative every turn. Legally, they have abided by the terms of the GPL, which is their agreement, essentially. But they have repeatedly disregarded the spirit of open source and giving back. So basically, the open source program that they've built their streaming program off and make money off doesn't like them because they refuse to make it their own program. They still use the OBS name and banked off the clout that they could get from it, etc., etc. So basically, Streamlabs have copied OBS, they've copied Elgato, they've copied Lightstream, and it just kept going on. Like people just everywhere they looked, they found more and more examples of everything. All right. Fast forward, the pressure goes on onto Streamlabs to come back and say something because there's all sorts of shit coming out, and that's when Streamlabs came back and said we're making immediate change. We're sorry, it was just a placeholder text in that website. It's all just a big misunderstanding, basically, which it's not, obviously. Yeah. They've changed the name. I think they've made it Streamlabs Space OBS now. So just to make sure it's clear.
It's a huge difference. Yeah.
Huge difference. Right. So that's the start of the snowball. All right. So everyone's calling them out and said, Streamlabs, it's not even your work. Right. And everyone's going, you shouldn't be streaming with Streamlabs, blah, blah, blah. My favorite thing is that they've got obviously preferred creators and like people, Poster Childs, and Pokemane's one of them. Right. Everyone loves Pokemane. Right. And the trolls went straight to a chat. And it's like, what are you going to do about this? What are you going to do about this? You're going to still continue to support Streamlabs. Oh my God. Yeah. And then she, the first thing she's like, oh, look, I've asked them, they've got to do something. We need to see real change. Otherwise, I'm going to be changing or moving away from it, blah, blah, blah. But that wasn't enough. The amount of pressure that's been put on Streamlabs and their creators and anyone that has anything to do with it, she's basically come out now and say, look, I didn't even ask to be a part of Streamlabs,
They didn't ask. Like she said, basically they've taken down all the pictures of me, including some that they never asked me if they could use in the first place.
But look, there's definitely money that changed hands there. Let's not kid anyone.
There was also a couple of different cases of them having stolen people's work in the past, which is like, the bit cup thing where the bits all fall into a cup and it stacks up. And people do use that. That's inbuilt into Streamlabs. It was actually stolen from a creator called Muxy way back when. It's a very old thing. As well as everyone's calling out the fact that they make it really, really difficult for you to cancel your Prime membership with them because you have Streamlabs Prime. And when you donate to people via their Streamlabs link, a lot of people accidentally purchase the Streamlabs Prime when they're doing that. And they intentionally make sure it's hard to get rid of. And there's come out like with history and people giving their personal accounts of working for Streamlabs, where they've been fired for making suggestions that their behavior has been unethical and that they should make changes because they really want to keep the predatory Prime tactics up so that they can make money off of people. Yeah,
it's a lot of shitty business practices. Now, to be clear, because the immediate thing that people come back to is there's a Stream Elements, which is the natural alternative. It's the Pepsi to your Coca-Cola. They work very differently, firstly. They do have their own OBS sort of plugin, if you like, which is called Stream Elements OBS. So people will be like, what's the deal with Stream Elements OBS, blah, blah, blah. It's basically the same shit. Let's cancel them as well. OBS came out with a statement saying, look, generally speaking, it's just a browser plugin. It's something that our program supports anyway. Yes, it's not very good, and yes, it's not very nice of them to be using our name. Take that information with you, whatever you want to do with that. Since then, they've come out and said that they've spoken to Stream Elements. Stream Elements are going to work with OBS to name their products and make their products better and everything else. So they're all buddy-buddy happy days now. So Stream Elements is in the good books. Streamlabs is in the shit books. Now, in full disclosure, I've been telling people to get the fuck off Streamlabs OBS for the last 2-3 years because it's garbage, in my opinion. absolute garbage program. It chews your CPU and your memory. You're limited by shit that they just haven't updated where OBS have updated it all. It's just garbage, basically. So I've always used OBS, and I always use Stream Elements. I've only ever been to Streamlabs to like get a setting or something that I couldn't quite get out of Stream Elements, but every time I've been there, I just get frustrated with how everything runs. So this is all just music to my ears because it just says that I was right when I said get the fuck out of there so long ago. But the shitty business practices, that's kind of disappointing. And there's a lot of people that use Streamlabs. And not just the streaming program, but they put their donations and everything else through there, which is it's all just creating revenue for them as well. So supporting shitty business practices. But Jesus, did it snowball for the last week? Like from what was they thought a great announcement turned into a mass exodus.
Another big thing people have kind of been talking about is how they actually originally had the assumption that Streamlabs OBS was a collaboration between Streamlabs and OBS, so people didn't really think about it before now.
Yeah, they thought collaboration, but
that's the way they kind of advertise it, and kind of they never clarify, and they benefited from not clarifying on that. I originally thought that as well. I obviously I learned that before the recent events, but when I made the jump to OBS, it's just predatory all around, and people are now struggling to make the change from Streamlabs to OBS. But a lot of people are putting in the effort to do so, which is good to see. Support the OG work. It's good to note as well is that the team behind Lightstream are also the team that control Rainmaker, which is the content creation,
which is like Keymailer and all that sort of stuff, but it's also tied into doing alerts and stuff, obviously, with their stuff that they've done there. So
exactly.
Here's a couple of facts that maybe got caught out or people didn't realize from that whole mess. Streamlabs have always put themselves in a place of like being like miscommunicated or accidentally signed up to this, to the point where they used to call themselves Twitch alerts. So if you wanted Twitch alerts or you Google Twitch alerts, you'd find twitchalerts.com, which was Streamlabs. That was their original way of like being founded and like being created was,
shady from day one.
Shady
from day one. Yep, definitely.
Apart from that, and this is a little less, I'm just trying to confirm the dates. Yeah. Okay. So also in the September of 2019, Streamlabs was purchased by Logitech, and is a Logitech company.
Oh.
And isn't one of the companies that works, so basically the parent company who bought them in 2015 were also previously a CSGO skin gambling company.
Yes.
Shady.
So
yeah.
A lot of little shady things there that kind of just get hidden in the background, if that makes sense. So
it does sound a bit scummy.
It's a little bit.
But
yeah, so all the stuff has come out, and like I said, social media is very quick to hold them accountable.
Do you reckon Streamlabs have a factory full of cars?
They have a factory full of streamers.
I'm gonna wheel in Pokemon. Yeah, that's gonna go park right there.
It's look. A lot of people have made the call to switch from Streamlabs to OBS and support that. OBS, what people don't realize, and this might be very boring to people that don't know a lot about the technical side of streaming, stuff like that, but it is open source, which means you can do whatever the fuck you want to it. And like I'm talking about, like you can put panels in there, you can embed websites, you can embed parts of websites into there, so you can literally take your Twitch like dashboard and put that in as a side panel into your OBS, and you can have, so rather than having a website open and your OBS open, you can have just OBS open and keep it as a big mainframe there. And it's heaps of shit. Go to YouTube. There's creators there every day creating tutorials on shit that you just wouldn't even know that it could do. And like I spent. This was a year ago. I'm probably due for a refresher, but I sat down with a couple of fellow streamers who all been using OBS the entire time, and the shit that they taught me in like 30 minutes was like mind blowing. I'm just like, I have never known that was a thing. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool, huh? And it's like because it's open source, people are writing codes and plugins and stuff like that all the time. So get Google, go YouTube. There's plenty of things there to get into it. Just do it, basically. fuck Streamlabs, seriously. And Stream Elements can do anything Streamlabs can do, exactly the same. And if Stream Elements are going to be working with OBS for a better future, then there's your choice. Go to Stream
There's
Elements.
also a lot of plugins that work with OBS that don't work with Streamlabs OBS, like Triggerfire. If you wanted to make everything, all of your alerts and stuff like that, and channel point rewards much more dynamic and fun, you can do that with OBS. So, and it's free.
I remember at one point, the big reason why I went with Stream Elements over Streamlabs before I knew anything at all was that Stream Elements had this thing where you can put everything into a browser source online, basically. So it's all in the cloud, and then you just put that browser source onto your thing, and then all your alerts, everything work as one single browser source. You don't have to have 20 different sources that bogs up your memory and everything else. And I always thought, wow, this is genius. I don't know why anyone else isn't doing it this way. And then 6 months later, Streamlabs did the exact same thing. But I believe you had to pay to begin with, at least, to use that function of theirs. So they just copied what Stream Elements was doing and then, wrap it in with their pro service, whatever the fuck they call it. I don't know.
They made this.
It's and look, the memes are great. The conversation on Twitter, surprisingly diplomatic. There's a lot of people. There's not anyone in there just going fucking burn this world to the ground. Everyone's like, wow, I didn't know this. We should really be doing change. We need to support these creators. Everyone's been really pretty up about it. Which for shit as cancel culture can be, it's been very constructive. So you figure it's wild. Anyway, so if you reach out, if you have questions and stuff, we can certainly point you in the same way. I know that Shelby has volunteered her services to change over every single Streamlabs user to
all
OBS,
but all at the same time, and everyone has to be talking. There's plenty of people out there. Definitely will give people advice and point them towards the right videos and things like that that'll help them do it. It's not too difficult. Just load up. There are ways that you can import all of your stuff, but if you want to do it a bit manually and clean your streams up at the same time, you just have both programs open at the same time and make comparisons and move things across. You'll be fine.
Or watch a heap of tutorials and learn how to do it better, and just start afresh on OBS.
It's not as scary.
In the time I've been talking, I've literally just set mine up.
It's not.
It's all set up exactly.
It's not hard. And look, a little peek behind the curtains. I use OBS to record this podcast. I use OBS to do all of my gameplay footage. I use OBS for streams. It's
just adding hype.
Yeah, TikTok, everything. It's literally open source. Do whatever you want with it. It's the best thing ever. And I know that, what we talked about in previous podcasts, when I went and got into filmmaking and stuff like that, one of the big things was that the software that I learnt before I got into the industry was redundant, and no one uses that software. There's no point learning in that particular software, stuff like that. Where if you learn how to do shit in OBS, it kind of translates into everything else anyway. So good starting point to get into. So yeah, there you go. Shelby made the change. Frog's making the change.
I've literally just finished making a change. All my settings are back to.
I think I pestered Shelby for a year.
Till I was I cracked it.
Wait, Shelby streams?
I got him! Oh!
I still stream more than you.
Yeah, you do.
Wow.
Man's busy joining a bikie gang, so.
Yeah, when you're driving around with Ferraris, you don't really need a stream. Oh, it's weird flex.
Wait, you're driving around, you must be an influencer then.
Yeah. I do awkward TikTok dances. That's how
I remember reading this article about how there's this guy who has a private jet, and he was just hiring it out 30-minute blocks to influencers so they can take pictures pretending they're flying on a private jet. So instead of actually using his jet, he was charging people $750 for 30 minutes on the jet.
They're going inside,
so they could take pictures of themselves getting on their private jet. So for influencing, and then they just get off it after the 30 minutes and get out of there, and the guy makes $750.
Oh my God.
It's the biggest big brain thing ever. We should just open up a studio where we could do fake backdrops. Be all right, guys, if you want to pretend you're down in Italy right now, that's got the Italy backdrop.
Do you need a painter? I'll just start doing some spray paint.
I say fuck influencers, but we're technically micro influencers. People do invite us places and give us stuff occasionally.
Yo, if you're interested in getting an Oodie, soon we'll have my own discount code. It's a free Oodie. I'm getting a pizza Oodie.
You have Oodies?
Yeah, I got Oodies now.
What?
Yeah, actually, I can send you a code if you want to.
Yeah, link us. A code.
Wait, do you stream?
I do stream.
No, it was they reached out to a friend of mine and they're like, hey, if anyone else is interested, this is the person you need to talk to. And they were just super upfront. And they're like, we'll send you an hoodie. This is what we want from you. Sign the dotted line. Happy days. See you later. I'm like, this is the easiest thing, because like some of them, they'll send you stuff and they'll be like, what can you do if we sent out, if we sent you out these 2 energy drinks? Do you reckon you could do 7 9-hour streams? I'm like, no, it's not going to happen. Well, the great one, and I've never fallen for it, but you see people fall for it all the time. They're like, hey, would you like this free makeup pack? Blah, blah, blah. And then obviously people are like, free makeup pack? Hell yeah. And like, cool. Well, for our VIP customers, we're going to be sending them out these influencer packs so you can, spread our new product. All you have to do is purchase $150 worth of stuff from us and you'll be a VIP, and then we'll get you out your influencer pack. And people fall for that. Like, free pack.
Says the level 5 EB Games person who just got a free banner.
First of all, didn't even know I was going to be level 5 until like 2 weeks out. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm going to be level 5? And then I realized I spend too much money on games. Having said that, I've been talking to some people, that maybe would encourage me to play more console games going forward. So I might have to play more PlayStation stuff coming soon, if you read between the lines. But it's good because I have so many PlayStation games that I have not fucking started. I'm like, I don't even know. I think what I'm going to go through, I don't know. I'm going through a weird time because at the moment, it's always 2 different ways to look at content creating. And like, I'm not calling anyone out, and I doubt they'll listen to this podcast anyway. But someone recently came to me and they're like, I just got into streaming. I just need to make a living while I'm living at home with my dad. And, I just want to do everything I can to start making some money from playing games and stuff like that. And I'm like, you're definitely coming at this the wrong way. You're just going to be disappointed from the start. It's like, you don't start a YouTube channel today saying I'm going to make enough money to live next week. It just doesn't work that way. It's the wrong mentality to go about it. But it's like, if I said to myself, okay, I want to be a popular Twitch streamer with...
You want to be Pokemon-y.
Wow. Maybe.
Pokemon.
Yeah, sure. But like, you'd play Roblox, Crab Game, Fortnite. You just sell out basically. You just play all the games that you know that you're going to get all these 10-year-olds are going to watch your thing while you're playing it. That's it. Stuff like I could do that, but I don't think I'd be very happy doing that. I'd be pretty whatever. And then there's things like New World. As much as I'm still playing it an exorbitant amount each week, the amount of bugs and like just randomness that the game has brought, it's been hard to sort of make content with it. Particularly when you're just crafting leather boots over and over again to get your levels up. It's not really entertaining. Having said that, like when we go to war and when we were doing all that shit, like the views were good. It was solid things. But the second you're not doing war or not playing New World, it's just like, so it's like, I could be a New World creator. The thing pisses me off, and part of the reason why it's just New World things is my new saying. But New World had this great feature that they got in the beta that worked for a day in the beta. But there was this whole thing, join the creator program. You can integrate your Twitch because obviously New World's done by Amazon, who also owns Twitch. So it's all, it's all about giving themselves a good old circle jerk with the exposure. And so you'd have Twitch integrated with it to the point where if you're live in-game, you'd have a little Twitch icon above your head in the game and a little number next to that Twitch icon that tells you how many people are actually watching this guy's stream at the moment. So then when you're walking around, people will be like, oh, look, there's a streamer. And you go say hello to them and stuff like that. And like, it's a good way to, good discoverability and everything else. Worked for the first day of the beta. Haven't seen it since. It's a button that you can't press in the menu now. And New World have just basically said, we've got so much shit to work on right now. Well, that's not our priority. So
yeah, there's a lot of issues right now. So
yeah.
And honestly, the amount of players that they've lost, it should be a priority because then they'd be getting people promoting.
They want content though. That's the thing. So fix bugs is number 1. Content to retain player base is number 2. And then influencers showing off a working game is number 3. But if the game's not working, they don't want people showing off the bugs and the exploits. And
we scammed people with new content last night. Just do you want a little quick story?
Sure.
So we're doing a little gear run last night, and we found there's a bunch of new furniture items that have been added with the new patch. Bunch of new weapons, bunch of new armor, like you're getting random drops that I haven't seen before, no one's seen before.
Yeah, they changed heap of icons too. It's just wild.
Yeah, the energizing, satisfying meals.
All the dyes have changed as
bowls
well.
Of blood,
all,
bowls of blood. It's good. There is some good content.
They're doing things. Right? They are doing things. Yeah.
Yeah. So they've added these new furniture items, and there's literally there's an item, and it reads like it is a new schematic for a chest, like a chest, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have a tier on it, and we're just like really confused. Like, is this some new like insane chest? Like, because it was a pretty like we're in Ebonscale, and it was like a pretty decent looking chest, right? We're searching up, we couldn't find it anywhere. It was like, we ended up just like typing in global, anyone willing to buy, and someone messaged Sam immediately, started organizing the deal. Sam sold it to him for 2.5k, right? Just fucked up, like fairly decent amount, right?
Right.
It turns out it was literally just a cosmetic thing.
So it's a schematic you put on your wall.
Yeah, a 69 level 69 furnishing schematic that you basically just use for nothing but aesthetics. And we found out that was the case as we were like, he was communicating with this guy, and this guy wanted to just buy out, or he was apparently going through and just buying out all like the new furnishing items. And so we sold it to him for like an insane price because he thought it was like a new actual chest. And we kind of ripped him off. Literally, it probably would have sold for like 50 gold.
It's definitely I mean, it's not. You ripped him off, but it's not your fault that Amazon,
we
the New World, they just never communicate what the fuck half the shit does or where it came from or what it's meant to be. Like, it's so much just guessing. It's like, what's this? You Google it and there's some guys like, yo, welcome to my channel. Today we found this mad drop. We think it's going to be part of the new update. And then you look at it, it's like, this is 6 months ago, and this guy got it 6 months ago and he still hasn't figured out what's going on. And then you're looking at 32,000 views of people Googling the same question, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on.
The name of your schematics doesn't actually match the name of the furniture.
Oh, yeah.
So, star metal braced chest makes something called a hope chest. There's no matchup between the names.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, so I'm at that point now where I'm streaming other games, but I'm not enjoying the same viewer count that I was getting streaming grinding New World. So that's just life. But I just probably got to figure out what thing to stream. Oh, I'm going to go back and stream more New World just when we're doing stuff. But I don't know. I feel like they probably need a month just to catch up on fixing shit. But they can't afford to lose a month's worth of players, if that makes sense. Yeah, so they're in a weird spot.
Yeah, this last patch has felt like the most stable in terms of like everything. But at the same time, yeah, it's they do definitely. There's a lot of things that need to be worked on. A lot of bugs.
Yeah, they will definitely fucking fix it. But yeah, it's just going to take time. But anyway, we should probably wrap things up.
Yeah.
It's that time. Definitely come and check out my Twitch stream. Probably New World, mate. Probably Pokemon at the moment. Playing a lot of Pokemon. Shelby, shellbunny.com for body pillows still. Is that the joke? Or we?
Yeah, that is. Shellbunny.com, or you can find me on Ilati stream usually. Something.
You're streaming. You streamed Skyrim last week.
Yeah, I need to stream more of that actually.
Yeah. And if you come to my stream and you tip $3, Shelby, you'll get a bottle of wine. And that keeps it fueled for antics. If anyone saw last night's stream,
100%.
$3 bottle of wine, or just like a bottle of wine?
So $2 bottle of wine and a dollar for free.
Well, I was going to say it's the delivery charge usually.
It's not even goon. The glass bottle it comes in has to be more expensive than the fucking.
I don't. We talked about it at length last night, but it's like the wine's so cheap, and then the jokes just keep coming, and then all of a sudden it's not even my stream anymore.
Oh yeah.
It's yeah. Anyway. And obviously, Frog, go see Frog's OBS streams when they're coming out hot.
I think I'll be trying it tonight. So, I mean, this is going to be going out on a different day. But anyway, I'm trying it tonight. So, yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Catch all the buggy mess that is New World.
Yeah, and one last thing before we tie off the stream. The podcast. Before we tie off this podcast, next week's podcast will be the last podcast for 2021. We're going to take a short break over the holiday period. As we mentioned earlier in the stream, it's a fucking busy time of year. So it'll be a special episode. I've got something in mind. You don't want to miss that. And then we'll be back next year. So one more podcast this year. So thanks for listening. And
So I bring the hot tub to yours? Yeah. That's
We're just doing a hot tub podcast.
Yeah. Hot tub. Just
literally the podcast I listen to every week. Just did a hot tub podcast. Anyway. Thanks for listening, everybody. Make sure you're following ZLB Podcast on Twitter and check us out on all the good platforms and everything else. And we'll catch you again next week. Goodbye.
Bye.